Welcome and welcome back. I just wanted to pop on and give a little follow-up to the last video that I posted. Um, so if you recall the last little bit of the last video, I had my little confession about having a lack of faith. And funny thing happened. So at the time, like the moment I was readying the video to upload to YouTube, I had to stop for a second because I got a text from a really good friend of mine who is precisely the person that I would have the conversation about faith with. He was texting me, hello, and we hadn't spoken in months. And maybe that was part of the reason why I was feeling the way I was feeling, because if we had had our regular conversations, then, we'd have talked about it in the normal course of things, and he'd set me straight, and off and running we would have been. But so for me to talk about feeling a lack of faith and feeling like my manifesting muscle wasn't really working, to get that particular text at just that moment showed me immediately that there's nothing wrong with this muscle. There's nothing wrong with the universe hearing me. I just need to just be more aware. And piggybacking off of that, got to say that I love my people, right? Because you all reached out and you had some insights, you had some things to share, and it made the difference. And it gave me things to think about and kind of helped bring me back into perspective. I wonder if this isn't, my current or my previous malaise, because it's not current anymore. If my previous malaise was just part of the isolation sickness that comes from not having the same robust social interaction with my favorite people that I would normally have in the normal course of things, were we under a more normal environment. That being said, I can't encourage you all enough to be honest with yourselves about what you're going through and reach out to your favorite people. Judgment be damned. And if they're your favorite people, there probably shouldn't be judgment anyway. Because it makes a difference. The few good words that I heard from my favorite people have made all the difference in these last few weeks as I've been kind of navigating this thing. And speaking of, the manifesting muscle, so of course I like things to be immediate, right? Like, not only am I asking for my lessons to be easier and to not come through struggle, but through the joy of enlightenment and just happening upon something new. I like my guidance to be immediate and obvious because, if you're going to get guidance, that's really the way it should be, right? Like, I don't need any hidden symbols to try to figure this shit out. I'm already struggling, right? So I've had a few instances, and one of them happened yesterday, and I just thought I'd share. So as part of my, Renaissance and Reformation here, I have rededicated myself to a few different practices. One of which is tithing, and I don't think I've ever done a video on tithing, but maybe that should be in the offing because it's an important one. But at any rate, feeling like I wasn't being heard and not feeling like I was able to manifest, and because I take my money so seriously, it made it difficult to tithe. In that, you're supposed to tithe to the place of your spiritual nourishment, and not feeling the connection of faith, I didn't feel like I was being nourished, not by my regular sources or unusual ones, and so I wasn't tithing, not because I didn't believe, but because I just was in this liminal space, and so I just needed that break. But I decided that I've got a few things coming up in the next few months, and with tithing, God is my greater partner, and one with God as a majority, and I'm obviously going to need some help in overcoming these particular challenges, so I thought I'd rededicate myself to the practice. And the first opportunity came this week. And, God loves a cheerful giver, and that's maybe one of the few times you hear me quote Paul. But, if you're going to tithe, you need to just give lovingly and joyfully. And I had already made the decision, so I wasn't bothered by that. I just looked at my bank account and was like, man, okay, so am I going to have to deal with constriction for a couple of days or weeks or whatever? And the answer is no, because I live in an abundant universe, and, I'm pretty skilled at figuring that out. And so I went ahead and wrote my tithe check just as I normally would and sent it off with faith and love and excitement. Like, cool, let's see what happens. Nothing like having the rubber band stretched all the way back to see the momentum that's been created, right? So I sent my tithe check off around 10 in the morning, I guess. By evening, I checked my emails, and my tithe was for 150. And so I wrote the check for 150 in the morning. By evening, I checked my emails, and I had gotten a gift from one of my closest friends for $180. And I just kind of laughed because, you know, when I'm asking for my guidance to come easy and I'm asking for it to come immediately, validation, you know, same as guidance. The fact that, you know, I sent the tithe off in the morning, and not only did I get it back that same day, like within just hours, so that's talk about immediate, but it was more than what I had given. And what I like about that is just the demonstration that not only am I supported, because one of the things I, you know, in my divine discontent will sometimes complain about, if not to you all, then certainly to myself sometimes, is the that it's just enough. And, you know, obviously when you have a bill to pay or you have something that's due or whatever, being able to meet that need in the exact amount is fine, right? But sometimes you want, you know, when you're wanting to grow bigger and greater, you want to receive bigger and greater. And when you're given just that amount, it's like, duh, you know, if I could breathe just a little bit more. So I like that it was, you know, just a little bit more, covered the next tithe, and also left me with money left over. So yeah, the manifesting muscle is not broken. I just needed to redirect. And as is often the case with these things, when what has gone before is no longer working, then that's a sign of initiation. And you know, lo and behold, I did have a birthday, and I did have like a jump in understanding. So I thank you all for being part of that. So yeah, that was just my little update. These things that I'm working on in the rededication I talked about a few minutes ago, I'm going to come back and talk to you in 6 to 8 weeks, because it'll be just at that point where the things that I'm working on now should have come to fruition. They will come to some sort of end. At any rate, I'm expecting a very fantastic and pleasant one. And so I'm going to come back and share with you what that is and what I've been practicing that's gotten me there. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that. I can already see that it's working, and it's only been roughly a week, so that's good. Speaking of other things off in the offing, I know I put up a post or a video a while back about my stopping reading the Aquarian, and in these conversations that I've been having and the soul searching that I've been doing, it has occurred to me that I should in fact pick up that practice again. And finish reading the Aquarian. And it's not so much about how I feel about the presentation, that reading, you know, on YouTube is kind of boring, at least it would be for me, but just the fact that I had forgotten my original reason for doing it, which was to share the Aquarian with an audience who might not have experienced it. And so for me to stop, for say posterity, right? There may be people after us that decide they want to start watching the videos. Wouldn't it be a shame if I stopped halfway through, like just when the story was about to get good? So I am going to resume my reading of the Aquarian on Sundays. And since I've said it and it's Friday, I guess this coming Sunday will be the first, my first day back. So there's that. And I think that catches us up. I imagine, because there's some other things that I do want to talk about with regards to asking for what you want, some things that you all shared with me and some other things that Spirit has shared with me that I want to put together. So that video, of course, is coming as well. So you've got a few things more to look forward to from me. And I think for now that does it on this Friday evening. Oh, one last thing. Yes, yes, yes. I love this new tool. It is already making a difference. I can't even tell you. That would be a whole nother video. But yeah, love it. Love you all too. We'll talk soon. Bye.